This talk will take about 12 minutes. Hopefully you'll hang in there to the very end and share it. Today we're facing an attack on our hearts, on our principles, on who we are as a nation. All across our country, people have been shocked and disgusted by the treatment of immigrants. Men, women, and children, young and old, have been taken from the streets and their homes by masked men and women and thrown into cages under inhumane conditions. Politicians have filled our minds with poison and lies. Trump has called them criminals, not human, animals. During the campaign, he said he was going to have the biggest deportation ever. And since we're so used to him lying and exaggerating, many people didn't believe him. But he said that it would be criminals and gang members. But that's not the case. He's been deporting honest, good, hardworking people. Just ask the farmers, the hotel owners, the meat processors, the construction contractors. They've been asking for them to come back. They've been begging for them to come back because they know better than anybody else that they are good, hardworking, law-abiding people. Now, Trump has been using war talk to excuse what he's doing. He says we're being invaded, that we're at war, and they claim the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. Well, in my mind, if we're at war, doesn't that make every man, woman, and child being held a prisoner of war? And under the rules of war, the Geneva Conventions, prisoners of war have rights. Therefore, I call upon the International Committee of the Red Cross to demand access to these immigrants being held and to check the facilities and interview inmates. Now, more importantly, I asked the ICRC to demand the names of every man, woman, and child being held here or in any third countries. Now, Trump's going to say, I can't do that. I can't do that. National security issue. Well, if we were at war, we'd have to provide the names of any prisoners that we have that belong to the enemy nation. Just like we would want them to provide the names of any of our people they're holding in prisoner of war camps. Now, this may not do anything, but we got to try. These people were our friends, our neighbors. Are we going to abandon them? In my mind, kindness is not a feel-good word. It's a call to action, something we got to do. And the thing is, what burns me up is that the world population is dropping by huge amounts. People are getting older like me, and the number of young workers is dropping. This is going to have a huge impact on nations, on their economies, and on their retirement programs. The United States was in pretty good shape compared to Asia and Europe. Why? Because of illegal immigration. And to think that these people were paying taxes into Social Security that you know is going to run out in a couple of years, and they didn't benefit from it. This whole thing makes me remember that a couple of months ago, Trump allowed a group of white South African farmers and their families to emigrate here, to move here. Is this whole immigration thing really a scheme to turn America white? What's going to happen after they get rid of the illegal immigrants? They're already going after legal ones and threatening to remove the citizenship of others. They're going to go after the rest of us. The U.S. Congress passed huge amounts of money and to pay for big bonuses and pay raises for ICE agents. They're buying their consciences and making it harder for them to leave the job once they find out that they're not comfortable doing what they're having to do. In addition, they passed large amounts of money to build detention centers throughout the country. And they're moving quickly because they know at some point the American people are going to push back, and it's going to be fierce. How did we get to this? How did we get to this? Who's to blame? Well, the Republicans are to blame. And the Democrats too. When U.S. citizens were in the living along the U.S. border complained of having lots of immigrants crossing their land, the Democrats ignored them. And when we saw these huge groups of people, these big caravans moving to the U.S. border, many people were turned off by that. I voted Democratic, and I was turned off by that. So many people voted against immigration. But we've gone overboard. We're like Germany and Italy in the 1930s, and we built this internal secret army, not so secret army, our own Gestapo, that at some point will go after the rest of us. Therefore, I call upon the International Committee of the Red Cross to demand access to these immigrants that are being held, these men, women, and children, because justice is dying in the United States. Our Supreme Court has become the King's Court, the Presidential Court, the Billionaires' Court. Justice has become a joke here. Justice is a tool that Trump uses to scare individuals, corporations, universities, the press. And we cannot remain silent. To remain silent is to consent. And the thing is that immigration is something that we could solve. It's a solvable problem if we put our minds and hearts to it. And what burns me up too is that immigration is the least of our problems. We have fires, hurricanes, floods, tornadoes, every disaster that you can name. A FEMA that doesn't respond to us anymore. Plus, we have rising prices, tariffs. We have cuts in Medicaid, and that's going to hurt hospitals. We have cuts in food programs. And, of course, we have tax cuts for the billionaires. And the Republicans approve a budget that will have a deficit of $4 to $9 trillion. What a gift to leave our children. You see, Trump has used immigration to manipulate you, the American people, just like Hitler did to manipulate the German people and Mussolini did to manipulate the Italian people. Go check it out for yourself. And once they get your attention on immigration, then they do whatever they want. Trump is dismantling our government. He is cutting services that serve you, not him and his billionaire buddies. They don't need it. They don't care. He's dismantling our government. He's acting like a king. What I'm afraid of is that just like Germany and Italy paid for what they did through the ruin of World War II, that maybe someday we'll pay for it. Also, I hope not. This Christmas, when you see grandparents, parents, and children being taken from the streets and their homes and thrown into cages by masked men and women, I want you to remember the famous three immigrants, Joseph, Mary, and Jesus. They became immigrants when they fled to Egypt to escape persecution in their own land. Familiar? Topic familiar? This Christmas, when you're at home, imagine them in a detention center in the outskirts of a city near you. Go visit them and fight for them, because silence is consent. Thank you.